Army is one of the nation's top rushing teams. Can they run it up on Navy? While Navy goes for 13 straight against its brotherly foe. Ted Hutt, Autotrader.com. College football today is next. Welcome to Autotrader.com College Football Today and the 115th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. Just over 2 hours ago, the Brigade of Midshipmen of the U.S. Naval Academy marched into the stadium.
Navy's uniforms are inspired by the first Navy Jack, featuring the "Don't Tread on Me" motto. The Navy Jack was first used by the Continental Navy during the American Revolution.
Graduates of the Naval Academy serve a minimum of 5 years in the Navy or Marine Corps, while pilots serve 8 years upon earning their wings. Navy leads the nation in rushing with just under 358 yards per game and is one of just 4 schools to produce a President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, and a Super Bowl winning quarterback, Roger Staubach.
Navy has a 12-game win streak against Army, the longest in the series by either academy.
Then it was the long gray line of the United States Military Academy. Each class at Army has its own motto. For the class of 2015, it's "For those we lead."
At West Point, it's often said, much of the history we teach was made by people we taught.
The Academy has produced over 50,000 graduates, including Presidents Ulysses S. Grant and Dwight Eisenhower, Generals Robert E. Lee, Douglas MacArthur, George Patton, and Norman Schwarzkopf.
Army won 3 national championships from 1944 through 46 and boasts 3 Heisman Trophy winners, Doc Blanchard, Glenn Davis, and Pete Dawkins.
The Black Knights have the nation's 5th leading ground attack with over 305 rushing yards per game.
Army, sing Navy!
Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Zucker, and welcome to Autotrader.com College Football Today and the 115th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. As we've said, Army is trying to snap Navy's 12-game win streak in the series. This is a year in which neither will claim the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, making a signature win against its traditional rival and the bragging rights that come with it all the more meaningful. The Midshipmen will play San Diego State in the Poinsettia Bowl on December 23rd, while for the Black Knights, they close out their college football careers as a new page of service and commitment opens for them. I am joined by Spencer Tillman and Brian Jones, and there is nothing quite like Army-Navy.
That's right, and after this game, they'll receive their commissions, and they'll begin, BJ, to live out that ethic that all the branches share with one another, and it's really personified in that statement. No greater love does a man, or a woman for that matter, have than the willingness to lay down their life for another. And then in this game, it's the only place where we know with some degree of assurance that 100% of the people in uniform will share that same ethic.
Yeah, it was Cicero that said certain signs precede certain events, and when you watch that march on of the Corps Cadets and the Brigade of Midshipmen, you know this is something special. And I think Roger Staubach, the Heisman Trophy winner there at Navy, summed it up best. Those involved in this game know it's not just a regular game. This is something super, super special. And if you haven't had a chance to enjoy this spectacle, you need to put it on your bucket list.
Yeah, there you go. And life changes for these guys as soon as they arrive on campus. 3.5 years ago, CBS followed Terry Baggett of Army and Micah Polamalu of Navy when they first arrived on campus as part of the Emmy Award-winning documentary Game of Honor. Now, the seniors are concluding their football careers as opponents while sharing the common experience of preparing to serve their country.
Ladies and gentlemen, especially the class of 2015, welcome to this long-awaited night, a night 41 months in the making. Tonight we celebrate a milestone event in our time as cadets as we open envelopes and don insignia that will chart the next steps of our journey. In some ways, tonight's a bittersweet event. It's the first tangible reminder that come May 2015, we will go our separate ways.
Yo, bench boy, welcome to my chair. your first name?
Micah.
Micah? When you leave here is when all the yelling starts.
Drop your hands to your side. You understand? Sir, yes, sir.
I had a lot of feelings going through my head on I-Day. Overwhelmed for the most part. I remember not liking it very much.
The most jarring moment of my first day was definitely meeting the cadet in the red sash.
Move out, come on. Chilling out, feet above your shoulders.
I'm pretty sure that I called a ma'am a sir, and I did not realize that.
Do I look like a sir to you, New Cadet Vegas?
I had no idea what was going on. It was tough. He was caught on tape saying, "I hate this place." Guys around here and the teammates have never let me live that down. I love the football team, and we push each other through this place.
You have to be tough. You have to know how to work with a team, to know how to get your teammates and those around you to be successful.
Everything builds up to the Army-Navy game. Coming in as a freshman, I had no idea what it was about, and the feeling was overwhelming, and it was just the atmosphere. It's just nothing like I've ever felt before.
We're going to be Navy this year. That's something we've been working toward the entire year, and every day, every week, we have to get better. We have to win that game.
I could never believe that this season would have went by this fast, and my last Army-Navy game will be right around the corner.
It'll definitely be a bittersweet moment. I love playing the game, and I love being around my teammates.
It's hard to see a large chapter of your life come to an end. I mean, I've been playing football for the majority of my life, and I put a lot of time, effort, and into it. But at the same time, I'm ready for another chapter.
Tonight, we're taking the next step in our journey as cadets and future officers. Tonight's a celebration of the unique skills of each member of our class that will apply in whatever branch we're about to be assigned.
This is the night where everyone learns what branch they're going to be going into for the next 5 years of their career. Start to realize that you really are almost done with this 47-month experience, and it's really coming to an end.
I got submarines.
For me, what it means to be a West Point graduate, I mean, you're now part of the long gray line. You embrace everything that everyone who's from here has ever done, and that means something special.
Marine ground.
Marine ground.
Whether we played at the Naval Academy or Army, it doesn't really matter. I mean, yes, there's a huge rivalry in football, and while we're here, it's a huge deal. But as soon as we graduate, our priorities change, and our goals change, and we both have the same goal.
There you go. As we touched on earlier, after graduation, both midshipmen and cadets are required to serve a minimum of 5 years of active duty. For pilots, it's 8 years after earning their wings. The commitment continues long after today's game.
And Adam, it's that process. Whether you are a coach or a cadet, BJ, the process of shaping and fashioning young men and women is really what's something special.
And what makes this game so unique is the fact that they have that shared experience of those experiences that both have endured and navigated at their respective academies. And once this game is over, they will protect our interests around the globe.
Amazing young men and women. And now let's hear from both coaches in today's game, starting with Army's Jeff Monken in Planning for Success, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
We have to prepare for this game like we do any other game, to have a game plan, to be able to line up in offensive and defensive formations, kicking plays that give us the best chance to win.
Every game is a different entity, and just keep it, try to compartmentalize things, because none of the games in the past have any bearing on this game. It's not like you can carry points over from last year's game.
When we come back, David Faraday tells us how an event in Baltimore 200 years ago inspires us to honor the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It seemed as though Mother Earth had opened and was vomiting shot and shell in a sheet of fire and brimstone, he wrote. Given the intensity of the attack, he was certain the British would prevail.
That's next. You're watching AutoTrader.com College Football Today on CBS. Here's a recap of Navy's 2014 campaign, starting with the season opener, presented by Chick-fil-A.
Braxton Miller out. That puts the weight on J.T. Barrett.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Touchdown. You can almost feel Urban taking a deep exhale and going, I'm glad this one's over.
Pearson, end zone, touchdown. These Falcons flying high. And Keenan Reynolds, the career touchdown king. Indianapolis, his 50th TD.
It's the 88th meeting between Notre Dame and Navy. It was not easy. It never is against Navy.
Senior day, Indianapolis. Reynolds, 6 rushing touchdowns. Takes down Georgia Southern.
And there is junior quarterback Keenan Reynolds, who ran for 136 yards and scored 3 touchdowns in the win over Army last year. Many think Reynolds could be a Heisman candidate next season. Puts a lot of pressure on opposing defenses, especially in the red zone, presented by Verizon, Spencer.
Adam, that's why I call him the commanding optioner. He's made a great decision. Look at this is against Ohio State. Pretty good athletes on the back end, but BJ, the problem is the option game puts them in uncertainty. They don't play it with leverage.
Exactly, and they get you out leveraged numerous times throughout a ball game. What I love about them, there are myriad ways they option offer different guys. It could be the defensive end linebacker, could be a cornerback or a safety. As you see there, it was a safety. He didn't get over there fast enough to contain that play. Next thing you know, a sizable gain.
He's the man, and as we move closer to game time in Baltimore, our own David Faraday looks back on a time when this city was the scene of a miraculous moment in history, one of fortitude that's recalled every time Americans sing an ode to their nation.
200 years ago, in 1814, the United States and Britain were at war. Again. By mid-September, British forces set their sights on Baltimore, and that's where a 35-year-old American lawyer entered the picture. There's always a lawyer. But Francis Scott Key had boarded an enemy ship on the Chesapeake Bay in hopes of negotiating the release of a prisoner. And the British wouldn't let him leave the harbor as they were about to attack Fort McHenry. Key bore witness to an awful barrage that lasted throughout the night, and like any good barrister, he started taking notes. It seemed as though Mother Earth had opened and was vomiting shot and shell in a sheet of fire and brimstone, he wrote. Given the intensity of the attack, he was certain the British would prevail. The hours passed slowly, but the following day, by the dawn's early light, he saw the American flag, not the British Union Jack, still flying over the fort. Invigorated by this heroic stand, he converted his notes into a poem called The Defense of Fort McHenry, which he then set to an Old English drinking song. Today, we know his creation as the Spangled Banner. It's pretty tough to sing, even for a well-trained voice like mine. So I won't. And you're welcome, America. Heaven knows remembering all the words isn't easy, but hearing it makes us swell with pride in the land of the free and the home of the brave. So as our armed forces take the field today with their brothers and sisters in arms around the world protecting our freedom, remember the battle 200 years ago right here on our shores that inspired the anthem that unites us all.
Really neat stuff. And you know, bridges are so much a part of our culture, and it's appropriate that Francis Scott Key has one name for him. Not too far from where this game is being played, the outer Baltimore Beltway has a bridge that goes from the outside to the inside of the city, and it bears his name.
Well, I tell you what, in these big games, you're trying to keep your emotions in check, but anytime they play that Star-Spangled Banner and you couple that with a flyover, forget about it, folks. You get emotional.
200th anniversary of our national anthem, and no more poignant a playing of it than today for the seniors who will be on the field for both teams, including Army senior running back Larry Dixon. He is the captain of the Black Knights and leads the #5 rushing team in the nation, also 4th on Army's career rushing list, ahead of Heisman Trophy winner, Mr. Outside, Glenn Davis. And now, here's a look back at his team's 2014 season, presented by Chick-fil-A.
Jeff Monken in his first year. Here goes Larry Dixon for the Army. Touchdown. Santiago, Captain Angel towards the end zone. Takes it in.
It's Air Force and Army. What a grab. Air Force is going to pick up the Commander-in-Chief trophy.
Army's going to take this back. First victory at Yankee Stadium since 1960. Fordham and Army ready to go.
Want to know how hard?
AutoTrader.com College Football Today is sponsored by AutoTrader.com. Land a great deal on your perfect car at AutoTrader.com. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network.
Welcome back to AutoTrader.com College Football Today. A reminder, get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app. It is the fastest app for sports fans. Download the CBS Sports app now. And be sure to get a full breakdown of the upcoming bowl season. Tune in to CBS Sports Network on Tuesday at 8 Eastern for the Inside College Football Bowl preview. And now, how about some Navy spirit?
Birth year of the Navy, 1775. Year of the first Army-Navy game, 1890. Watching Navy beat Army for the 13th straight year? Now.
This is USS Macon Island, current deployed to 5th Fleet, and we only have one message for you.
Go Navy, the Army! Navy's Ken Niumatalolo is trying to become the first head coach to start his career with a 7-0 record in the Army-Navy rivalry. Allie LaForce caught up with him earlier.
Coach, you're defending 12 years of dominance in this rivalry, and everyone talks about the pressure on Army to beat the streak, but what about the pressure on Navy as the defending champs?
We don't talk about the streak in our locker room and in our program. We just talk about this game because none of the prior games have anything to do with this one. So our sole focus is on preparation and this game.
You and Coach Munkin not only coached together, but you became very close friends. How does that relationship factor into this rivalry today?
Well, he's a dear friend of mine. You know, he's a great man, comes from a great family. He's got great parents, you know, who know him very well. But for today, we'll put our friendships away and, you know, we'll try to compete to beat each other.
I can imagine there's a wide range of emotion going into today's game. How do you control that in the locker room?
Just with our preparation, you know, just get ready for the game. As big as everything is outside of the white lines, it's still a football game, so get ready for the tackling, the blocking, and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Coach, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And Coach Ken can become Navy's all-time winningest coach today with a win against Army. And Allie also spoke with Army head coach Jeff Munkin a short time ago.
Coach, now in your first year as head coach at Army, you know this rivalry better than anyone else because you've been on both sides of it. What does Army need to do to beat the streak today?
Well, we need to do the things we need to do to win every game. We got to be tough and be fundamentally sound, run the ball, stop the run, play great in the kicking game, execute on the plays where it's really important, the third down plays, the goal line plays, not make foolish mistakes, take care of the ball, and play together and play really hard.
What would winning this rivalry game do for your program and do for you in your first year as head coach?
I'd just be so excited for our team, especially our seniors who have suffered 3 losses at the hands of Navy, and just an opportunity for those guys to finish their career with a win in their biggest rivalry game would be terrific.
What are the feelings like going up one of your best friends and former fellow coaches?
I'm so proud of Kenny, and he's doing a great job, and he and I are dear friends, and I think it just makes the rivalry that much more intense. It's like battling your little brother in the backyard. So we're just going to enjoy the day, and hopefully we'll play as hard as we can and play well.
Coach, thank you and good luck.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, Allie. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll talk right here in Studio 43 with the 3 Heisman finalists, Marcus Mariota, Melvin Gordon, and Amari Cooper. But now, game time is here. The 115th edition of Army and Navy is next. Vern, Gary, and Allie will have the call after this message and a word from your local station. You have been watching AutoTrader.com College Football Today on CBS.
We welcome you to college football on CBS. Today, Army-Navy, America's game, presented by USAA. And for the 5th time in the 115-year history of this rivalry, the game is being played in Baltimore, Maryland. 2-2 the 2 teams are in the previous competitions here. And speaking of the pageantry, the Leapfrogs and and Golden Knights. Parachute teams from the respective academy. How about this? Well, he was 2 yards from the 50. Now let's go to our public address announcer, Bruce Cunningham.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation by Captain Michael Gore, United States Navy Chaplain Corps and Command Chaplain at the United States Naval Academy. And please remain standing for the singing of the National Anthem by the combined West Point Glee Club and the United States Naval Academy Glee Club under the direction of Dr. Aaron Smith.
I invite all who wish to pray to join me. Almighty God, we gather once more on the field of friendly strife with comrades in arms who are separated by the colors of their uniforms, but united in a common bond of service to their country. As much as they love this game, they love their country better and have sworn their lives to its defense. We are grateful for young men such as these and for the cadets and midshipmen they represent. They are truly the finest our country has to offer. Grant that they may do their best this day in friendly competition, remembering that someday soon, on some far-flung field of battle, they will undoubtedly stand shoulder to shoulder, facing a common foe on behalf of all who watch them from the stands this day. God bless them, God bless us, and God bless the United States of America. Amen.
Combined Glee Clubs of West Point and Annapolis, the U.S. Military Academy and the Naval Academy, and not far from Raven Stadium, Fort McHenry. And it was in this location that Francis Scott Keyes composed the words to our national anthem. Army-Navy again. Back with more right after this. College football on CBS. The Army-Navy game presented by USAA is sponsored by DirecTV, America's Navy, Red Lobster, and USAA, who along with the fans here in Baltimore salute America's game.
Only they know what it feels like. Years later, or when they're just starting out. Only they know what it feels like to be a different kind of kid who makes the choice to go to West Point or Annapolis. A different kind of person who sacrifices some of the best years of their life.
I'm 22 years old.
I'm 22.
I'm 21 years old. Today is my birthday.
Dedicating themselves, risking their lives, all for their country.
All my friends back home partying, sleeping in.
Their college experience is just a little bit different from mine.
Yeah, I don't really know what a summer break is. We didn't have one last year.
Free time here at the academy.
It's just all the challenges that you have to face.
The military, the school, academics, and then on top of that, throwing in playing Division I football.
It's the best feeling to know that, you get to live your dream every day.
Captain Mike Vitti knows what it feels like to be one of them, to make a different choice, to learn true sacrifice, to embark on a commitment that has defined his life ever since. A decade ago, he was a fullback for the Army Black Knights, captain of the team as a senior. As a platoon leader in Afghanistan, he served heroically, earning the Bronze Star. But then he came home and determined his mission wasn't complete. So, for the past 7 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days, Mike Vitti has been walking across America, from sea to sea, headed to a football game.
I'm doing this because somebody has to. 1 kilometer for every service member killed in Iraq and Afghanistan.
He's doing a sensational thing with his walk across the country, and that's a perfect example of the kind of guys that we have come out of here.
Walking around the country kind of embodies that brotherhood.
I truly believe this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing at this exact moment.
It's about pride, it's about respect, it's about honor. The sacrifice is for the men and women who gave us absolutely everything.
And with him always on this journey, sacred cargo.
I write 1 name for every single service member killed in action and walk those flags across the country to the Army-Navy game. For me, it's just a way to pay tribute to my heroes.
Among those names, a fallen teammate and a fallen rival. Their memories among those pushing every step forward.
Lieutenant Chase Presnicki and Lieutenant J.P. Blecksmith both played in that game and gave their lives for our country. That's what sacrifice looks like.
Today, on a field in Baltimore, Maryland, as 2 teams of football players, different from all the others, once again square off. Retired Captain Mike Vitti's journey ends where theirs begins, the Army-Navy game.
This is the game. This is our Super Bowl.
It's everything, actually.
What you dreamt about since you were a kid.
This is one of the biggest moments of our life.
This game to me means everything. I'll spend my 21st birthday beating Army.
Go Army! Beat Navy!
Beat Army. Let's go do this damn thing.
Go Army! Beat Navy!
For all that came before, go Army.
A soldier's journey ends at this game, different from any other.
And 2 hours ago, Captain Mike Vitti completed his cross-country walk as he arrived at Raven Stadium in downtown Baltimore for Army versus Navy. It's America's game presented by USAA. And on the field, the Black Knights of Army. An Apache flyover. And not too far behind them, the midshipmen of the Naval Academy. And here come the F-18s. Wow.